Good afternoon. I'm Suzette Bradshaw, the Executive Director of the Caldwell Arts Council, and we are delighted to welcome you to the 8th Annual Shakespeare Monologue competition today. Every one of you here are a winner just to having the guts and the sheer raw courage to get up on this stage and do this. I'm not sure that I would have that at your age.
Hi everyone, my name is Amaryna and I attend the Caldwell Early College. Today I will be performing as Julia from the play Two Gentlemen of Verona in Act 1, Scene 2. In this scene, Julia is sad and frustrated at herself for tearing the letter she received from her love, Proteus, after being teased by her maid, Lucietta. Oh, hateful hands, to tear such loving words! Injurious wasps, to feed on such sweet honey and kill the bees that yielded with your stings. I'll kiss thee several paper for amends. Look, here is writ, kind Julia, unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stone, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. And here is writ, love wounded Proteus. Poor wounded name, my bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed. And thus I search it with a sovereign kiss. But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind, blow not a word away till I have found each letter in the letter, except mine own name, that some whirlwind bear unto a ragged, fearful hanging rock, and throw it thence into the raging sea. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia, that I will tear away, and yet I will not, that so prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus will I fold them one on another. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Kaylee Simmons, and I'm a senior at the Wilkes Early College High School. Today I'll be performing Act 5, Scene 1 from the Forbidden play, Macbeth. If you see theater, you know that's a little bit iffy. So, leading up to my monologue, Macbeth and his friend, they're walking through the forest, they're coming home from war, and they say, there's these three witches that approach them, and they're like, hey, you're gonna be king one day. And so Macbeth goes home and tells his wife, hey, we're gonna be king and queen one day. So then Lady Macbeth gets very power hungry very fast. And she convinces her husband Macbeth to kill the rightful king and queen. And whenever he kills the rightful king and queen, she becomes ridden with guilt. And in my scene, she is sleepwalking, portraying all of her secrets in the hallway. Sorry. Yet, here is a spot. Out, damned spot, out, I say. 1, 2, why then? 'Tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and a feared? What need we fear who knows it when none can call our power to account? Yet, who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? The Saint of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What, will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all with this starting. Here is the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. No. Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. To bed. To bed. There's a knocking at the gate. I tell you yet again, Banquo is buried. He cannot come out on his grave. To bed. To bed. To bed. What's done cannot be undone.
Hi, my name is Catherine McCoy. I'm from Hibriten High School, and today I will be performing for you Rosalind's monologue from Act 3, Scene 5 of As You Like It. In this monologue, Rosalind is disguised as a man named Ganymede, and she is talking to a woman named Phoebe. Now, Phoebe's ego is larger than life because of a man named Silvius who is completely enraptured with her. So, in this monologue, Rosalind is trying to humble Phoebe by insulting her. And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed? Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than the ordinary of nature's sail work. Odds, my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brow, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeball, nor your cheek of cream that can attain my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and through you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees, and thank heaven fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy. Love him. Take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So, take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bianca Pittman, and I am with South Caldwell High School. Today I will be performing Ophelia's monologue from Hamlet, Act 4, Scene 5. Leading up to this scene, she learns of her father's death, which ultimately is the cause of her insanity. And in this scene, she is having a mental breakdown as Claudius and Gertrude look on. Thank you. Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark? How should I, your true love, know from another one, by his cockle, hat, and staff, and his sandal shoon? Say you? Nay, pray you mark. He is dead and gone, lady, he's dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, and at his heels a stone. Pray you mark! White his shroud as the mountain snow, larded with sweet flowers, which, be wet to the grave, did not go with true love showers. Well, God isled you! They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. God be at your table. Pray you, let's have no words of this, but when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is Saint Valentine's Day, and all in the morning be time, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and ducked the chamber door, letting a maid that's out a maid never departing more. Indeed, love, that's an oath, I'll make an end on it. By gifts and by Saint Charity, alack and fie for shame! Young men will do it if they come to it. By cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So what I had done by yonder sun, and thou hadst not come to my bed. I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose but weep to think that they should lie him in the cold ground. My brother will hear of it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Hi, I'm Olivia Stegall. I'm from Watauga High School, and this is Caliban's monologue from The Tempest, Act 1, Scene 2. In this monologue, Caliban addresses Prospero, who is Caliban's master and captor, who has also taken over Caliban's native island. I must eat my dinner. This island's mine, by my mother, Sycorax, who you takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokedst me, and madest much of me, wouldst give me water with berries in't, and teach me how to name the bigger light, and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh springs, the brine pits, barren place, and fertile. Cursed be I that did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, rain on thee. Which first was mine own king, and now here you sty me in this hard rock, whilst you do keep me from the rest of the island. Thank you, I'm Olivia Stegall.
Hi, my name is Raegan Conard, and I go to Caldwell Early College High School. Today I'll be performing Julia's monologue from Act 4, Scene 4 in Two Gentlemen of Verona. At this moment, Julia, Proteus's betrothed, has followed her fiancé to Milan, only to discover him now to be chasing after another woman, his best friend's love, Sylvia. And so Julia disguises herself as a manservant, unbeknownst to Proteus, in an attempt to foil his pursuits. Proteus, thinking Julia to be his manservant, has sent for her to woo Sylvia for him. Thank you.
Alas, because methinks she loved you as well as you do love your lady Sylvia. She dreams on him that has forgot her love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary that thinking on it makes me cry, alas. How many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool, why do I pity him that with his very heart despiseth me? Because he loves her, he despiseth me. And because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave to him when he parted from me, to bind him to remember my goodwill. And now am I, unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would not obtain, to carry that which I would have refused, to praise his faith which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true confirmed love, and yet cannot be true servant to my master unless I prove false traitor to myself. And yet will I woo for him, but yet so coldly as heaven knows it, I would not have him speed. Gentlewoman, good day, I pray you. Be my mean to take me where to speak with Madam Sylvia. Scene.
Good afternoon, my name is Abby Gregg. I'm a junior at Hibriten High School, and today I'm going to be performing the Jailer's Daughter's monologue from Act 2, Scene 4 of the play, Two Noble Kinsmen. In this monologue, the jailer's daughter, who's in charge of feeding all the prisoners in their cell, has discovered that she's fallen in love with Palamon, a prince that her father happens to be keeping imprisoned. She understands that this relationship likely won't be able to evolve further considering their social differences, but she'll be willing to do anything to give it a shot. Why should I love this gentleman? 'Tis odds. He will never affect me. I am base. My father, the mean keeper of his prison, and he, a prince. To marry him is hopeless. To be as whore is witless. Out upon't. What pushes are we wenches driven to when 15 once has found us? First, I saw him. I, seeing, thought he was a goodly man. He has much to please a woman in him, if he pleased to bestow it so. These eyes looked on. Next, I pitied him. And so would any young wench on my conscience that ever dreamed or vowed her maidenhead to a young, handsome man. Then I loved him, extremely loved him, infinitely loved him. And yet he had a cousin, as fair as he too. But in my heart was Palamon, and there, Lord, what a coil he keeps. To hear him sing in an evening, what a heaven it is.
and yet his songs are sad ones. Fair spoken was never gentleman. When I come to bring him water in the morning, first he bows his noble body, then salutes me thus. Fair gentle maid, good morrow, may thy goodness get thee a happy husband. Once he kissed me. I loved my lips the better 10 days after, when he would do so every day. He grieves much, and me as much, to see his misery. What should I do to make him know I love him? For I would fain enjoy him. Say I ventured to set him free. What says the law then? Thus much for law or kindred, I will do it. And this night, or the next, he will love me.
Hey, my name is Amanda Lynn, and I currently attend the Caldwell Early College. And today I'll be reciting Helena's monologue from All's Well That Ends Well, Act 1, Scene 3. In this monologue, Helena is confessing to her adopted mother, Countess Vesulian, that she is in love with her son, Bertram. Since Bertram is born of high birth, while Helena is born of a peasant birth, she confesses to her mother that she is completely out of his league. And this is her confession. Then I confess, here on my knee, before high heaven and you, that before you and next unto high heaven, I love your son. My friends are poor, but honest, so is my love. Be not offended, for it hurts not him that he is loved of me. I follow him not by any token of presumptuous suit, nor would I have him till I do deserve him. Yet never know how that should be. I know I love in vain, strive against hope, yet in this captious and intentable sea, I still pour in the waters of my love, and lack not to lose still. Thus, Indian-like, religious in mine error, I adore the sun that looks upon his worshipper, but knows of him no more. My dearest madam, let not your hates encounter with my love. For loving where you do, but if yourself, whose aged honor cites a virtuous youth, did ever in so true a flame of liking wish, chastity and love dearly, that your Diane was both herself and love. Oh, then give pity to her whose state is such that cannot choose, but lend and give where she is sure to lose, that seeks not to find that her search implies, but riddle-like lives sweetly where she dies. Thank you.
My name is Jolie Dean Hips, and I am from South Caldwell High School, and I will be performing Viola's monologue from 12th Night. In this soliloquy, Viola is contemplating what she should do after finding out that her master's love interest has fallen in love with Viola, thinking that she is a man because she has been disguised as a man this entire time for her own safety. I left no ring with her. What means this lady? Fortune forbid my outside have not charmed her. She made good view of me. Indeed, so much that sure methought her eyes had lost her tongue, for she did speak in starts distractedly. She loves me, sure. The cunning of her passion invites me in this churlish messenger. None of my lord's ring? Why, he sent her none. I am the man, if it so be as 'tis. Poor lady, she were better love a dream. Disguise, I see thou art a wickedness. Wherein the pregnant enemy does much, how easy is it for proper false in women's waxen hearts to set their forms. Alas, our frailty is the cause, not we. For such as we are made of, such we be. How will this fadge? My master loves her dearly, and I, poor monster, fond as much on him. And she mistaken seems to dote on me. What will become of this? As I am man, my state is desperate for my master's love. As I am woman, now alas the day. What thriftless sighs shall poor Olivia breathe? O time, thou must untangle this, not I. It is too hard a knot for me to untie. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Justin Smith, and I'll be performing a monologue from Act 3, Scene 1 of Romeo and Juliet by Mercutio. Mercutio has just entered a duel with Tybalt and lost because Romeo jumped in between to avoid the wrath of the prince and harm to the family of his forbidden love. However, as Tybalt runs away, Mercutio comes to terms with his own demise.
I am hurt. A plague over both houses I am sped. Is he gone and hath nothing? Aye. A scratch. Marry, 'tis enough. Where's my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon. No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow and you will find me a grave man. I am peppered. I warrant for this world a plague o'er both your houses. Zounds, a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, oh, to die by a scratch. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that bites by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil stood you between us? I was hurt under your arm. Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall fade. A plague o'er both your houses. They've made worms meat of me. I'll have it, and soundly to your houses! Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Callie Miller, and I am a sophomore at Hibriten High School. The monologue that I have prepared for you today is from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. It is Act 3, Scene 2, lines 192 through 219. In this scene, Helena, my character, is angry with Hermia, her childhood best friend, because there's been a love potion given out to Lysander and Demetrius that have made them fall in love with Helena, and Helena believes that it is all a prank. She thinks that Hermia is in on it, and so she is angry with Hermia and trying to remind her of their childhood friendship. Lo, she is one of this confederacy, and now I perceive they have conjoined all three to fashion this false sport in spite of me. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired? Have you with these contrived to bait me with this foul derision? Is all the counsel that we two have shared, the sisters' vows, the hours we have spent when we have chid the hasty-footed time for parting us, oh, is it all forgot? All school days friendship, childhood innocence. We, Hermia, like two artificial gods, have with our needles created both one flower, both on one sampler sitting on one cushion, both warbling of one song, both in one key, as if our hands, our sides, voices, and minds had been incorporate. So we grow together like to a double cherry seeming parted, but yet an union in partition. Two lovely berries molded on one stem. So with two seeming bodies, but one heart, two of the first, like coats and heraldry, do but to one and crown with one crest. And will you rent our ancient love asunder, to join with men in scorning your poor friend? It is not friendly, 'tis not maidenly. Our sex, as well as I, may chide you for it, though I alone do feel the injury. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lola Fulmer, and I'm with South Cola High School. I'll be doing Adriana's monologue from the Comedy of Errors. In this monologue, she is addressing her husband who has been cheating on her.
His company must do his minions grace, whilst I at home starve for a merry look. Have homely age the alluring beauty took from my poor cheek? Then he hath wasted it. Are my discourses dull? Barren my wit? If voluble and sharp discourses be marred, unkindness wants it more than marble hard. To their gay vestments his affection fades. That's not my fault. He's master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be found by him not ruined? that he is the ground of my disfeatures. My decayed fare, a sunny look of his would soon repair, but too unruly dear, he breaks the pill and feeds from home. Poor am I by his tale. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Maisie Wakefield, and I'm from Hibriten High School. Today I've prepared a monologue for you from Titus Andronicus. I will be portraying Tamora in Act 2, Scene 3, lines 93 through 117. In this scene, Tamora, Queen of the Goths, has been discovered with her secret lover Aaron. Bassianus and Lavinia, who discovered them, now taunt Tamora. They tell her that they will reveal her secret to everyone, including her new husband Saturnius. Then, Tamora's sons, Chiron and Demetrius, enter the forest and ask her, "Mother, why do you look so pale?" Have I not reason, think you, to look pale? These two have enticed me hither to this place, a barren, detested vale, you see it is. The trees, though summer, get forlorn and lean, overcome with moss and baleful mistletoe. Here never shines the sun, here nothing breathes, unless the nightly owl or fatal raven. And when they showed me this abhorred pit, they told me here, at dead time of the night, 1,000 fiends, and 1,000 hissing snakes, 10,000 swelling toads, as many urchins, would make such fearful and confused cries as any mortal body hearing it should straight fall mad, or else die suddenly. No sooner had they told this hellish tale, but straight they told me they would bind me here unto the body of a dismal yew, and leave me to this miserable death. And then they called me foul adulteress, lascivious Goth, and all the bitterest terms that ever ear did hear to such effect. And had you not by wondrous fortune come, this vengeance on me had they executed. Revenge it, as you love your mother's life, or be ye not henceforth called my children.
Hello everyone, my name is Melanie Perez and I am from the Caldwell Applied Sciences Academy. Today I will be performing a monologue from Julius Caesar, Act 3, Scene 2, given by Anthony. Anthony has just learned that his friend and leader, Julius Caesar, has been murdered by Brutus. Brutus has just finished giving a funeral speech, justifying Caesar's death. Now, it's Anthony's turn to speak. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus had told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously had Caesar answered it. Here, under the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He had brought many captives home to Rome. Whose ransoms did the general coffers fill? Did this and Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar had wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal. I thrice presented him with the kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause was told you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beast, and men have lost their reason.
Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar. And I must pause till it come back to me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Taylor from South Caldwell High. I'll be doing Isabella's monologue from Measure for Measure. In this scene, her brother has been sentenced to death, and she's been given a choice to save him in exchange for her virginity. To whom should I complain? Did I tell this, who would believe me? O perilous mouths that bear in them one and the self-same tongue, either of condemnation or of proof, bidding the law make courtesy to their will, hooking both right and wrong to the appetite, to follow as it draws. All to my brother, though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, he hath in him such a mind of honor, that hath he 20 heads to tender down, on 20 bloody blocks he'll yield them up, before his sister should her body stoop to such abhorred pollution. Then Isabel lived chaste, and brother died. More than our brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request, and fit his mind to death, for his soul's rest.
I'm Matthew Reap. I'm from Avery County High School, and I'll be performing a monologue from Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1 as Hamlet. And Hamlet is distressed about his father's death and his mother Gertrude's quick remarriage to his uncle Claudius. And when his father's ghost appears to his son in a dream, revealing Claudius to be his murderer, Hamlet begins to contemplate in his soliloquies whether life is worth living anymore. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat? For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The press is wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. For who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with disregard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Amaryna Chapman. I'm from Alexander Central High School,
And today I'm going to be performing Romeo and Juliet, and I'm going to be playing as Capulet in Act 3, Scene 5, lines 177 through 198. Okay, so for some context on what's going on, Capulet is scolding his daughter Juliet for not going along with an arranged marriage he had planned between her and a gentleman named Paris. Well, and the thing, Juliet says that this is because she cannot love, she's too young, but in actuality, it's because she's already married to another man named Romeo, but Capulet does not know this. God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company. Still my care hath been to have her matched. And now having provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair domain, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one thought would wish a man, then to have a wretched, pulling fool, a whining mammoth in our fortune's tender to answer, I will not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. As you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house me. Look to it, think onto it, but I do not use a jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise. And you be mine? I'll give you to my friend. And you be not? Hang, beg, steal, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets, for I will by my soul never acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it, be thank you, but I will not be forsworn.
Hello, I am Anna Gray, and I'm from Alexander Central High School. The play that the monologue will be coming from is Syllabine, King of Britain. The character I'm playing is Igmon. It's coming from Act 3, Scene 4. So the context around this is Igmon is talking to her fiance's servant, and her fiance sent this servant to come kill her because she was accused of infidelity, when she never actually cheated on him. So this is her feelings of betrayal, anger, and pain. False to his bed. What is it to be false? To lie and watch there and to think on him. To weep till clock and clock. If sleep charged nature, to break it with the fearful dream of him and cry myself awake, that's false to his bed, is it? I false, thy conscious witness, Giacomo. Thou didst accuse him of inconsistency, thou then lookest like a villain. Now methinks thy favor's good enough. Some jay of Italy whose mother was her painting hath betrayed him. Poor I am stale, a garment out of fashion, and for I am richer than to hang by thy walls, I must be ripped to pieces with me. Men's vows are women's traitors. All good seeming by thy revolt, O husband, shall be thought put on for villainy, not born where it grows, but worn a bait for ladies. True honest men, being heard like Phosphonius, were in his time thought false, and Shannon's weeping did scandal many a holy tear, took pity for most true wretchedness. So thou, Posthumus, wilt lay the leaven on all proper men. Goodly and gallant shall be false and perjured from thy great fell. Come, fellow, be thy honest, do thy master's bidding. When thou seest him a little witness my obedience, look, I draw the sword myself. Take it and hit the innocent mansion of my love, my heart. Fear not, 'tis empty of all things but grief. Thy master's not there, who was indeed the riches of it. Do his bidding, strike. Thou mayest be valiant in a better cause, but now thou seemest a coward.
Hello, I am Emma Moore and I'm from the Caldwell Applied Sciences Academy. I shall present to you a monologue by Mercutio from the iconic play Romeo and Juliet. From Act 1, Scene 4. In this scene, Mercutio reacts to his friend Romeo's troublesome dream. His reaction ranges from silly to manic, as he describes the legend of a certain fairy queen, known as Queen Mab. Oh, I see Queen Mab has been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and comes in no shape bigger than an agate stone on the fourth finger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomins over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinners' legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers. Her traces of the smallest spider's web. Her colors of moonshine's watery beam. Her whip of cricket bone, the lash of film. Her wagoner is a small, gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm, pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the jar swallow or old grub. Time not to mind the fairy's coachmakers, and in this state she gallops nights by nights through lovers' brains. Then they dream of love on Coda's knees, who dreams of curtsy straight. Allah's fingers, who straits on dreams of fees. A lady's lips, who straits on kisses dream, which offs the angry mad with blisters play, because their best sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops over Coda's nose, and he dreams of smelling out a suit. Sometimes she comes with a tight pig's tail tickling a person's nose as they lie asleep. Then they dream of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth over a soldier's neck, and he dreams of cutting foreign throats, of breeches and mosquitoes, Spanish blades, and beholds a 5 fathoms deep, and the atom drums in his ears, at which he starts and wakes, and thus being frightened swears a prayer or two, and then sleeps again. This is that very Mab that blacks the afflocks and fouls sluttish heads, and presses them, and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she! Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gavin Johnson, and I'm from the Caldwell Applied Sciences Academy. My monologue is from The Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 1. My character is Shylock. Shylock is a Jew. He feels like he has been betrayed by not only one, but 2 Christians. All he can think about is revenge. He even goes so far as to say that he will take the skin of his enemies for no other reason than to bait fish. To bait fish withal. If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He hath disgraced me and hindered me $500,000. Laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled mine friends, heated mine enemies, and what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same disease, healed by the same means, and warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is? If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you and the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be by Christian example? Why? Revenge. The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard, but I will better the instruction. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Katie Whittington. I'm a junior at Wilkes Early College. I'm going to be doing the Porter's monologue from Macbeth, Scene 2, Act 3. In this monologue, the porter is inside in sort of a lobby area, and he's drunk. He's really, really drunk. And there are two guys outside, and they want to be let in. They're cold, and they're knocking on the door. And the porter, he's just having a good old time. He's not going to let them in. He's just going to mess around. He's going to be a fool. Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, 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 who is there? In the name of bells above, here is a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins plenty about you, here you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock, who's there in the other devil's name? Why, faith, here's an equivocator who could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Knock, 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 who's there? Faith, here's an English tailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor, here you may roast your goose. Knock, 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 never quiet, what are you? This place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you, remember the porter.
I'm William Epley. I'm from Wilkes Early College High School. Today I'll be performing a monologue from Macbeth, Act 2, Scene 1. In this monologue, Macbeth has learned that he needs to carry out a premonition that was handed to him from 3 witches. So he's just struggling with what he needs to do. He's going to kill the king. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, but I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee now in form as palpable as which I draw. Thou marshallest me the way I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made fools, the other senses, or else worth all the rest I see thee still, and on thy blade and dungeon gouts of blood which was not so before. 'Tis no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. And now, o'er the one half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, outruned by his sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch, thus his stealthy pace, with the keen's ravishing strides towards his design like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear that thy stone prate of my whereabout, and take the present whore from the time which now suits it. While I threat he lives, words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Annabelle Cassidy. I'm from Caldwell Early College High School, and I will be performing Beatrice's monologue from Much Ado About Nothing, Act 2, Scene 1. So in this part of the story, Beatrice has a really bad attitude, and she lives with her uncle and her cousin, and they're at a party. They're looking for somebody. She starts talking bad about the person that they're looking for, and her uncle tells her if she keeps talking that way, she's never going to find a husband. This is her response to that. Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending it that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none. So by being too cursed, let God send me no horns. Just if he send me no husband, for which I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I cannot endure a husband with a beard on his face. I would rather lie in the woolen. I may light on a husband who hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He who hath a beard is more than a youth, and he who hath no beard is less than a man, and he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, well, I am not for him. Therefore, I even take 6 pence in the earnest of the beard herd, lead his apes into hell. And there, at the gate, will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head and say, Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here's no place for you, maids. So I deliver my apes, and there, away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there we live, as merry as the day is long. Thank you.
Hi, my name is McKenna Lau, and I'm a student at Hibriten High School. Today I will be performing my monologue as Portia from The Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 2. In Portia's father's will, it states that her suitors must pick from one of 3 jewelry boxes to win over her hand in marriage. In my monologue, Portia is trying to convince her lover, Bassanio, not to pick a jewelry box because she fears he will pick incorrectly and they can no longer be together. I pray you, tarry, pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong, I lose your company. Therefore, forbear a while. There's something that tells me, but it is not love, I would not lose you. And you know yourself, hate counsels not in such equality. But lest you should not understand me well, and yet a maiden hath no tongue but thought, I would detain you here for some month or 2 before you venture for me. I could teach you how to choose right, but then I am forsworn. So will I never be, so may you miss me, but if you do, you'll make me wish a sin that I had been forsworn. Beshrew your eyes, the row looked me and divided me, when half of me is yours, the other half yours. Mine own, I would say, but if mine, then yours, so though all yours. Oh, these naughty times put bars between their owners and their rights, so though yours not yours. Prove it so. Let fortune go to hell for it, not I. I speak too long, but 'tis to pease the time, to eke it and draw it out in length, to stay you from election. Scene.
Hi, I'm Nina Hernandez from Wilkes Early College High School. I'll be portraying Phoebe in As You Like It, Act 3, Scene 5. In this scene, Phoebe had just encountered Ganymede. Ganymede had just finished gruesomely insulting her after she rejected Sylvius' advances on her. Now she is speaking to Sylvius about her newcome feelings about Ganymede. Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. It's a pretty youth. Not very pretty, but sure he's proud. Yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He's not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. His leg is but so-so, yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference betwixt the constant red and the mingled damask. There be some women, Sylvius, had they marked him in parcels as I have, would have gone nearest to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not, and yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black and my hair black, and now I'm remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again, but that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write him a very taunting letter. Thank you.